You walk onto the lot. Thursday night. The salesman smells a hesitation on you, like a shark smells blood. He smiles. He points at a brand new SUV with the sticker price sunset orange in the corner of the windshield. $42,000. He leans in and says, I can get you into this for $399 a month. And for a second, you believe him. $399. You can swing $399. What he does not tell you is that sentence, $399 a month, is the single most expensive sentence the average American will ever agree to. Buckle up. We are about to do the real math. Americans are addicted to car payments. Not cars. Payments. The average new car transaction price is now north of $48,000. The average monthly new car payment crossed $700. The average loan term stretched to 72 months, and more than 10% of Americans now finance an auto loan for 84 months. 7 full years, longer than most people keep the car. Total outstanding auto debt in the United States just crossed $1.6 trillion, bigger than student loans. Let that sink in. We have more money owed on Silverado pickups and Honda Civics than on every college degree in the country combined. There are 4 ways most Americans get a car. 1, pay cash. 2, take out an auto loan and buy it. 3, lease. 4, finance used. Each path has a completely different shape on your bank account over 10 years, and the path the dealership pushes you toward is almost never the one that makes you richer. We are going to compare them line by line. Here's the rule nobody wants you to know. Car dealerships do not sell cars. They sell payments. The car is the bait. Before we dig in, kill the rule you've been taught. The old rule says spend no more than 20% of your take-home pay on a car. The 20% rule. It is a lie. It was written when cars lasted 5 years and loans were 36 months. Today, a reasonable all-in cost, meaning monthly payment, insurance, fuel, and maintenance, should be capped at 10% of your take-home pay, not 20%. If you net $4,000 a month after taxes, your entire car life should cost you no more than $400. That includes insurance. That includes gas. That includes the oil changes. Most Americans watching this right now are at double that, sometimes triple. 1 in 5 American drivers now spends more on their car per month than they put into retirement. Think about that. More on a depreciating piece of steel than on the instrument that is supposed to set them free. The new rule is 10%. Nothing the dealer tells you about affordability starts with that number, which means the affordability conversation you have had in every showroom of your life started inside a trap. Start with leasing, because this is where most people get quietly robbed. A lease is not a purchase. Read that twice. A lease is a rental. You are paying the dealer to use their car for 36 months, and then you give it back. Let me show you the actual math of a lease. A $40,000 SUV, 36-month lease, 12,000 miles per year. The dealer sets what is called a residual value, the estimated worth of the car at the end of the lease. Say 60%, so $24,000. The difference, $16,000, is called depreciation. You are paying that depreciation, plus what is called money factor, which is basically interest in disguise, plus a whole zoo of fees. Your monthly payment ends up at $399 a month, just like the salesman said. Over 36 months, you pay $14,364. You hand the car back. You own nothing. You walk back on the same lot. You sign another lease. You pay another $14,000. This is a loop. The lease loop keeps you in a permanent payment. You will never be car payment free unless you break it. Now the fees. This is where the dealer gets you twice. First fee, the acquisition fee, usually $600 to $1,000 just for the privilege of starting the lease. It shows up in your contract under document prep. Second, the disposition fee, $350 to $500. Charge at the end when you turn the car back in. It is a fee to say goodbye to a car you never owned. Third, capitalized cost reduction, a fancy name for your down payment. Lose the car in an accident early? Your insurance pays the dealer, not you. That money is gone. Fourth, the wear and tear inspection. 40 minutes with a man holding a credit card size template. Door ding larger than the card. $600. Curb rash on a rim for $150. Stain on the seat, $200. And you do not get to negotiate. Fifth, the mileage overage. 12,000 miles per year. Sounds like a lot until you commute to work. Drive 1,000 miles over? The contract says 25 cents a mile. A standard extra 5,000 miles at lease and costs you $1,250 in cash on the spot. By the time you add acquisition, disposition, down payment, mileage, and wear, a typical 3-year lease ends up costing $17,000 to $19,000 in real money. Not the $399 the sticker promised. Let's talk about the mileage trap, because almost every lessee falls into it. Your contract allows 12,000 miles per year. Sounds fine. Average American drives about 14,000. Do you live in the suburbs? Do you commute 20 miles each way? You're already blowing through your allowance by month 9. A couple named Jason and Claire I spoke to in Ohio leased an SUV. Claire took a new job that added 35 miles to her daily commute 6 months into the lease. By the end of year 3, they were 18,000 miles over. At 25 cents a mile, that is $4,500 owed at turn-in. They did not have it. They rolled it into the next lease. Now they have $4,500 extra dollars of debt wrapped into a car they are renting. This is the mileage trap, and it is how leases silently become way more expensive than the math the salesman showed you. You can buy more miles up front, 15,000 or 18,000 a year, but that raises your monthly. If you drive like an average American, a lease is quietly punishing you for being a normal human with a job. Now the auto loan side, you say, fine, no lease, I'll buy. You finance a brand new car. Let's use the average. $48,000 new car, $5,000 down, 60-month loan at 7.5% APR, which is actually close to the current national average in the U.S. right now. Your monthly payment lands around $860. $860. That's not a luxury number. That's an average American new car. Over 5 years, you pay about $8,700 in interest alone, money that literally lit itself on fire to sit in the bank's pocket. And here's the real killer. In month 3 of that loan, you're already underwater, meaning the car is worth less than you owe on it. Why? Because a new car loses roughly 20% of its value the moment you drive off the lot. You put 5 down. You borrowed 43. The car is now worth 38. You are upside down by $5,000 on day 1. If you total it, your gap insurance had better be paid up. If you try to sell, you are writing a check to get rid of your own car. This is normal in America. Nobody talks about it. Everyone lives it. Depreciation, the silent killer. Here is the curve nobody shows you. A new car loses about 9 to 11% the second you drive it off the lot. That is a drive-off depreciation. In the first 12 months, it loses about 20% total. By year 3, 46% gone. By year 5, 60% gone. By year 7, 70%. So that $48,000 new car you just bought, in 5 years it is worth $19,000. You paid for $48,000. You lost $29,000 in metal and electronics vaporizing around you, and you are still making the last year of payments on a car that is now worth less than half what you owed on it at the peak. Meanwhile, that same car at 5 years old on a used lot is the best deal on 4 wheels. You are not paying the steepest part of the depreciation curve, which the first buyer already ate. The harsh American truth. The first owner of a new car is subsidizing the second owner. If you want cars to build your wealth instead of drain it, you want to be the second owner. Almost always. The exceptions are rare, and we will get to them. Let me put it side by side. 2 American families. Family 1 buys a new $45,000 Toyota Highlander. $5,000 down, financed at 7.5% for 5 years. All in monthly, including insurance at about $160 and gas at about $220, is roughly $1,250 a month for first 5 years. Family 2 buys a 3-year-old $22,000 Toyota Highlander out of warranty period, but still solid. $2,000 down, financed $20 at 6.5 for 3 years. All in monthly, including insurance at $130 and gas at $220, is about $740. Same family, same commute, same school run. $510 a month difference. $6,120 a year. Over 5 years, $30,600. That is a down payment on a house. That is 10 years of Roth IRA contributions. That is a bigger bedroom in retirement. And the second family is driving a Toyota Highlander, not a beat-up 1998 Corolla. A Highlander. A car Consumer Reports will tell you runs to 200,000 miles plus if you do the oil changes. Same school run, same safety, same reliability. Literally just older stamps on the title. Here is where defenders of leasing will yell. But what about maintenance? A new lease car is always under warranty, you say. Never repair bill. That is true. It is also propaganda. Here is the actual American maintenance reality on a reliable used Toyota, Honda, or Mazda between year 4 and year 10. Oil changes, about $100 4 times a year. For 100-year. Tires, around 900 every 3 to 4 years. So call it $275 a year amortized. Brake pads and rotors front and rear, around 700 every 60,000 miles. A battery every 4 years, about $250. Alternator somewhere between year 8 and year 12, about $600. Timing belt on certain models, $800 to $1,200 at 90,000 miles. Add in wipers, cabin filter, the occasional random sensor. You are looking at an average, $1,800 a year in real maintenance on a reliable used car between year 4 and year 10. $1,800 a year is $150 a month. Your lease, meanwhile, is $399 a month for a rental plus gas plus insurance, and you own nothing. Your used car maintenance, $150 a month, and you own the car outright. That math is not close. It is not a fair fight. The people telling you maintenance kills used cars are selling you a new one. 10-year showdown. Path A, the perpetual leaser. 3 back-to-back leases at $400 a month each. 36 months, 36 months, 36 months, plus dispositions, acquisitions, and mileage overages. All in 10-year total, roughly $62,000. At the end of 10 years, you own nothing. You have to sign a 4th lease to keep driving. Path B, buy a 3-year-old Toyota Highlander for $22,000. Finance $20,000. 3-year loan. You pay it off in 3 years. Then you own it. You drive it another 7 years. Maintenance averages $1,800 a year. 10-year, all in total, roughly $36,000. At the end of 10 years, you own a car that is worth $6,000. Still runs fine. Title in your name. No payment for the last 7 years of the decade. Path A cost you $62,000 and left you with $0. Path B cost you $36,000 and left you with $6,000 worth of car, plus the crucial gift of 7 years of 0 car payments. The gap between the two paths is $32,000 of real cash that stayed in your life instead of leaving it. Not theoretical. Actual money that showed up in your bank account because of which box you checked at the dealer. And now the worst part, opportunity cost. Take that $510 a month difference between leasing a new car and buying a reliable used one. Invest it instead. Put it in a plain index fund averaging 8% a year. Boring. The same 8% the S&P 500 has roughly averaged for the last century. Do the math. $510 a month for 10 years at 8%, compounded monthly, grows to about $93,000. For 30 years, same monthly, that becomes over $760,000. $760,000 from the same $510 that was silently walking out of your bank every month into a car that ended up in a scrapyard anyway. This is why car payments are the number one thing separating middle-class families from upper-middle-class families over a lifetime. It is not salary. It is not luck. It is the invisible decision, repeated every 3 years, to keep feeding the car before they feed the future. Every American household that breaks the loop and redirects that $500 toward an index fund is quietly, mechanically becoming wealthy. The people still leasing do not know they are paying for the wealth of the people who stopped. Okay, I have to be fair. There are 4 scenarios where leasing actually does make sense. Scenario 1, you own a business and you can write off lease payments as a tax-deductible business expense. The math flips hard once the IRS is subsidizing 40% of your payment. Scenario 2, you are a high-mileage avoiding professional who drives under 9,000 miles a year and wants the newest safety tech every 3 years. Rare, but it exists. Scenario 3, you specifically want an EV in a rapidly improving technology window. Leasing protects you from technological obsolescence, the same way you lease a phone instead of buying the very first generation of a new technology. Scenario 4: you make a lot of money, a lot, and the convenience of never thinking about car trouble is genuinely worth more to you than the wealth difference. For everyone else, meaning the 90% of working Americans watching this video right now, leasing is mathematically not your friend. It is a subscription to a status signal that nobody but you notices. Buying a reliable 3 to 5-year-old used car is the most boring, most powerful, least sexy financial move you can make in this country. And almost nobody makes it. Here is the dark part. The ugly truth about the American car payment system is that it is designed to keep you in perpetual payment for your entire adult life. The dealer does not want you to own a paid-off car. A paid-off car is a dead customer for 15 years. The dealer wants you back in that showroom every 36 months. The lender wants that interest paycheck humming for the next 84 months. The auto insurance company prefers a newer car on the road because your premium is higher. The manufacturer wants you addicted to model year upgrades. For industries depend on you signing a payment, handing it back, signing another for 40 years of your working life. If you play perfectly by the rules they show you on television, by age 65, you'll have paid roughly $500,000 of your lifetime earnings to the car industry, and you will own a car worth, at best, $5,000. This is not an accident. This is a design. The single most radical financial act the average American can commit is pay off a reliable used car, keep it for 10 years, and never sign a new car payment again. That one decision, executed faithfully, outperforms almost every stock pick, every crypto bet, every side hustle over a lifetime. It is boring, and it is staggeringly effective. So, practical rules for an American who actually wants to build wealth with their transportation decisions. Rule 1. Total transportation cost, meaning payment plus insurance plus fuel plus maintenance, should be capped at 10% of your take-home pay, not 20. 10. If you net $4,000 after tax, total car is $400. Rule 2. Buy 3 to 5 years used, from the most reliable brands on the road. In the U.S., that means Toyota, Honda, Mazda, Lexus, and certain Subaru and Ford F-Series trucks. Everything else carries more risk. Always pay for a pre-purchase inspection by an independent mechanic before you sign. Rule 3. If you have to finance, cap the loan at 48 months. If you can't pay off a car in 4 years, you cannot afford the car. This one rule alone would save millions of Americans from the underwater trap. Rule 4. Keep the car at least 10 years after it's paid off. The paid-off car is where wealth is actually made. Rule 5. Direct the payment you have made on the next car into an index fund the month the old loan ends. Set it, forget it, let it compound. That is the entire playbook. 5 boring rules. They work. They just do not sell headlines. And that is exactly why they quietly make American families rich. Leasing versus buying isn't even a debate when you run the real math. If this changed how you see that $3.99 a month number on a dealer's whiteboard, do the thing that helps this channel more than you think. Subscribe. Drop in the comments whether you are currently leasing, buying new, or driving something paid off. I read all of them. Next video, we tear apart the real math of buying versus renting a house.